Have you considered taking a Margaritaville cruise? Probably not if you watch YouTube. You may have seen videos saying the ship is low class or even trashy. In today's video, I'm going to tell you all about my onboard experience and let you know if I think wasting away on a Margaritaville cruise is worth your time and money. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a splendid day, and if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe if you like cruise videos because I do a lot of them. I recently disembarked the Margaritaville At Sea Paradise. I was on board from Tuesday, October 10th until Thursday, October 12th. Margaritaville offers 2-day cruises out of the port of Palm Beach. They basically take you to Freeport Bahamas and then they take you right back. They also have some land and sea packages if you want to extend your stay. I've been on a Margaritaville cruise before, but this time I went because I have a friend, Danella, who lives in Atlanta, and she wanted to take her 18-year-old daughter on her very first cruise. Her daughter turned 18 a few days before we left on the cruise. She thought this would be a fun way to celebrate her daughter's birthday and asked if I wanted to come along. So I said, of course, and I decided to bring my daughter with me too. So we had a little mother-daughter cruise. Her daughter also wanted to go on the cruise because on Margaritaville, 18 and up can drink alcohol once you're in international water. So she wanted to have a couple legal drinks. So in this video, I'll not only tell you what I thought about the cruise, but I'll also tell you what they thought about their very first cruise ever. So with that out of the way, let's dive in. Now, you may be surprised that I returned to cruise again on Margaritaville at Sea. A lot of YouTube creators have posted videos with some pretty negative feedback. The videos are called things like North America's worst cruise ship, boarding the worst rated and cheapest cruise ship, and never coming here ever again. But to be honest, I enjoyed my previous Margaritaville cruise, and I have been on more than 40 different cruises across most major cruise lines, and I've stayed in all types of staterooms. I've stayed in interior cabins, ocean view cabins, all the way up to Rockstar Suites on Virgin's Scarlet Lady, and even the 2-story Crown Loft Suite on Royal Caribbean. I think I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to cruising, and I do think Margaritaville offers something for the right person for the right occasion, but I'll get into that shortly. But let's talk about this particular sailing. I was really interested to see what it would be like to be on the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise midweek. Previously, I had been over the weekend and it was pretty crowded. So I was interested to see if the crowds would be less and if the sailing would be even more enjoyable. As it turned out, it wasn't a full sailing. I would say it was maybe at half capacity. And because school is in session in Florida, there weren't many kids on board. We drove to the terminal and valet parked the car. There is no self-parking option. You have to valet and it's right around $20 a day. And here's a tip for you. As soon as you get your valet ticket, take a picture of it in case you lose it. You have to have your ticket number in order to get your car when you return. Oh, I have a video all about the Brightline train if you are traveling to the port of Palm Beach from Orlando, Miami, or Fort Lauderdale. And I will put the link in the description box in case you want to check it out. We entered the terminal at about 1:30 p.m. and check-in was easy and smooth. There were no crowds. After checking in, we made our dinner reservations for Finn's, which is the main dining room, and you make your reservations before you board the ship. Finn's offers an early seating around 5:30 p.m. and a later one at 7:45 p.m., and we picked the later option. And before we boarded, I also bought the drink package where you get 10 drinks for $99 and they give you a wristband. I was a big fan of the license to chill package on my previous sailing, but I didn't get it this time because for some reason you now have to be 21 years old to get the package. And because we couldn't all get it, I didn't buy it. I understand the package now includes 10 drinks, but since 18-year-olds can drink as soon as the ship leaves port, I'm not sure why they can't get the license to chill package. So because we all couldn't purchase the license to chill package, I didn't get it. But I do think that the 10 drinks for $99 is pretty good. Just don't waste those drinks on beer. Beer is about $7 on the ship, so charge those to your cabin and save the wristband drinks for other cocktails. Once we got on the ship, we saw the famous flip-flop that welcomes you on board, and we took a few photos. We then went right to our staterooms to drop off our luggage that we carried on board with us. We had ocean view rooms. This is an older ship with hardly any balconies, so we chose ocean view because I like natural light. The rooms aren't fancy, but they are clean and comfortable. I asked Danella, who had never cruised before, what she thought of the rooms, and she commented that they were larger than most hotel rooms in New York City. We then went right to the Port of Indecision buffet for lunch, and there aren't too many dining options on this ship. You have the complimentary buffet and Finn's main dining room, and then you have the JWB Steakhouse, Lola's Pizzeria, and the specialty coffee shop, all of which cost extra. I actually like the buffet. They have a lot more options now than they did when I cruised with them previously, and the food is pretty good. They have hot dishes, salads, and a deli sandwich section, and they have a carving station, a made-to-order pasta station, and a pressed panini station. They also have a lot of desserts to choose from, including a soft-serve ice cream station. In the back of the ship, next to the buffet, you'll find the 5 o'clock somewhere bar. I believe this used to be a specialty dining spot, but now they've turned it into a burger bar. Here they offer complimentary hamburgers, cheeseburgers, and veggie burgers, and they also have French fries. They have quite a few toppings for the burgers. This section is open almost all the time, so you can grab a burger whenever you want, including late night. For lunch, we all decided to have made-to-order pasta, and I had penne marinara, mushrooms, and peppers. Pretty tasty. After lunch, I then gave Danella a little ship tour, and our daughters headed back to the cabins to chill out for a little bit. Danella and I ended up on deck to have a cocktail. The deck area looks a little weathered. This is one section of the ship that really shows its age, in my opinion. There are a couple different pools here, as well as a couple different hot tubs. After hanging out for a while, it was time for muster. On my previous Margaritaville sailing, there was no muster drill. This is the safety drill, and I'm not really sure why. But on this cruise, it was a good old-fashioned muster where all the venues closed and you had to report in person to your muster station. Our muster station was in the casino. Now, I have heard that Margaritaville at Sea only does muster every other sailing. I'm not sure if that's true, and if so, I'm not sure why, but that's what I have heard. So we sat in the casino for about 20 minutes while they showed us how to put on a life jacket and gave us all the other safety instructions. And after that, we headed back to our staterooms to relax and get ready for dinner. On both nights of this sailing, we ate in Finn's main dining room. I think this is a pretty nice, attractive space on the ship. Overall service was pretty good, as was the food. We all enjoyed our dishes. The pineapple glazed chicken was a huge hit, as was the chicken tortilla soup. Danella had shrimp skewers one night that she said was decent, nothing special, but she pretty much cleaned her plate. The salads were also quite good and tasted very fresh. Overall, I really don't have any complaints. Both dinners were pretty good. It wasn't the best cruise food I've ever had, but it was filling. After dinner, we headed to the show. Now, on my previous Margaritaville sailing, they only had one show, and it was the same show each night. And it was very Jimmy Buffett focused. It was kind of a celebration of his greatest hits. I love Jimmy Buffett. I thought that show was charming. I really liked it. But on this cruise, they had two different shows, and neither really featured Jimmy Buffett's music. The show on night one was all singing and dancing. There wasn't any storyline. It featured popular songs by Bob Marley, Pitbull, and Gloria Estefan. There were also some acrobatics and some Cirque du Soleil type acts. It was high energy and quite entertaining. Not quite the caliber of shows on major cruise lines, but totally enjoyable. The show on the second night was different, but very similar in style to the first. Lots of singing and dancing. The shows are each 45 minutes and the time flew by. I was happy they are now offering two different shows. That's a nice improvement. The performers seemed to be really into it and having a lot of fun, and the audience was very responsive. I would happily see both shows again. Each night, by the way, the show was at 9:30 p.m. Because we were with our daughters, I was actually happy that they didn't have the Jimmy Buffett music focus show because our daughters aren't huge fans, but I am. After the show, we all went to the Quest game show. And this is kind of an adults-only scavenger hunt on steroids. A lot of cruise lines have something like this. Even though the ship wasn't at capacity, there was a good crowd and everyone really got into it. The teams were super competitive. Men were wearing high heels, bras, and lipstick that they got from total strangers. There were piggyback rides, and I ended up meowing like a kitten and then doing my sexiest cat crawl on the dance floor. P.S. I nailed it. It was insane and so much fun. Definitely one of the highlights of the cruise. And if you are on the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, I highly, highly recommend. We all had a blast and we ended up meeting some really fun people who we hung out with during the rest of the sailing. Then the girls wanted to go to the nightclub. I'm not really a club kid anymore, but I was surprised how much fun I had. The club had a good vibe and lots of energy. We ended up dancing our butts off, and then it was time to call it a night. The next day, we were in Freeport, and we had planned to get off the ship at least to walk around a little bit, but nobody was feeling perky after our big night out. Danelle and I had booked massages at noon, so after breakfast, we headed to the spa. The spa is pretty basic, but it does have a nice seating area with loungers. We each had a 50-minute deep tissue massage, and the treatments were fantastic. On that day, the spa was offering a 2-for-1 package. I think we ended up paying about $75 each. With the massages, you also got use of the sauna for the day. So after the massages, Danelle and I went to the sauna to relax. Oh, the spa also has pretty spacious showers with shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. So if you do get a spa treatment, you may want to shower there because it's a lot roomier than the bathroom in the cabin. That afternoon, we poked around the shops and got a few souvenirs. The ship has a few retail stores on board, including a duty-free shop. We also hung out in one of the hot tubs for a while. The water was the perfect temperature and the jacuzzis were very clean. After that, we went back to our cabins to get ready for the night, and again, we dined at Finn's and then went to the show. After that, we hung out in the Euphoria Bar to listen to some live music. This is a nice, centrally located area of the ship where you can relax. A lot of the ship activities also happen here. Overall, I thought the event staff was great, very upbeat, and really good at getting passengers involved. We also ended up grabbing a drink and going up on deck to enjoy them. When I'm on a cruise, I love sitting out on the deck at night. It's so peaceful and never crowded. The next day, we disembarked the ship at about 7:30 a.m. We carried off our own luggage and we were some of the first people off of the ship. Overall, we had a nice cruise, and I will say that Danella and her daughter did enjoy their first sailing ever. Of course, they have nothing to compare it to, but they had a great time. I do think this is a fun, inexpensive option for a 2-night sailing. Not many cruise lines offer 2-night sailing, so this is a good option if you have a birthday or just want to do something different for a couple days. I think you get what you pay for here. The food is decent, the staff is friendly, the rooms are clean, and the entertainment is fun. The total cost for our cabin was right around $400, and that was for 2 people. So for that, we got 2 nights accommodations and we each had 4 meals. So not bad. Maybe I'm just not that picky, but I would go on Margaritaville again, but I think I would only go midweek. I did really enjoy this ship when it wasn't at full capacity. It's not going to be my first choice of cruise line, but for a 2-night sailing, I might do it again. I do understand the criticism. It's an older ship. And if you're comparing it to modern cruise lines, it may not be for you. But for me, I can enjoy a meal at Chick-fil-A and I can enjoy one at Morton's of Chicago. And I have very different expectations of each. There are very different price points, just like Margaritaville and Virgin, for example. One of the things that I think is so great about Margaritaville at Sea is that they do have a Heroes Sail Free program. So if you are military or ex-military or a teacher or an emergency responder, you get 1 free cruise a year when you cruise with one other person. As an Army brat, I just think that's so nice and I commend them for doing that. If you'd like to talk Margaritaville at Sea cruising with me just a little bit longer, I will link a video at the end that I think you might like. It's on the left and it's the deck plan of the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise cruise ship. And the video on the right is all about my Bad Moms cruise. This is on February 21st, 2024. It's a 4-night sailing out of Miami on Virgin's beautiful Scarlet Lady, and I am hosting this cruise and it is going to be a lot of fun. Staterooms are still available, and at the time of this recording, you still get a $300 bar tab and a $100 onboard credit when you book a terrace cabin. So check out that video if you're interested. I would love to meet you. Until next time, I hope you have happy and safe travels. I appreciate you and thank you so much for watching. Bye.